Once again.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Now, since the last time you were here, you've become a writer. You were always a writer, but a writer for the Irish American, the Ohio Irish News. How is John O'Brien treating you?
You know, pretty good, pretty good.
That's
yeah,
good. That's
yeah.
good. John's a nice guy. I think you will.
He was the one who actually approached me about writing an article monthly. I had emailed him. I said, hey, I have this essay about the 2015 Rose selection. I'm really excited about it. He published it and then approached me about writing monthly. And I'm very grateful.
But anyway, one of the reasons I have you here this morning is to talk to you about this article that you wrote called Growing Up Irish, and then you have In Defense of the Rose of Tralee. Now, did you ever hear of the Rose of Tralee before you became a participant?
No. If I did, it was when we were listening to your show when I was a kid and you talked about the Rose of Tralee, but...
Have we been on that long?
I distinctly remember one time I was put in time out for, probably shoving one of my brothers, and your show was on.
And your dad made you listen to it and you says, oh no!
No, it made my time out much more enjoyable.
Oh, thank you, Maureen. You say the nicest things. No. The Rose of Tralee, you were in it a few years ago. Did it change? How did it change you? Or did it change your impressions or perception of the Irish Americans and the Rose of Tralee?
It just reiterated what I had previously thought about the Irish community in Cleveland, the Irish community in Ohio, in the global Irish diaspora. I've always thought everyone I've met because of this has been so warm and welcoming and kind, and they've taught me so many new things that it proved to me what I had thought before.
Mm-hmm. So when you were in the taking part in it, did you find it very enjoyable? Was it stressful? What exactly? How did you feel?
I loved every minute of it. It was stressful at times just because you didn't want it to end, or you had to make sure to be somewhere at a certain time, or I don't know. It's not easy walking into a room of, at the time, like 10 unknown girls who you had no idea what their experiences were, what they've done with their lives, and then the interview with the judges.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a conversation, but it's nerve-wracking. You walk in to this room and people you may or may not have known are like, hey, Maureen, tell us about your life.
Maureen, I must tell you, if I was a young woman like you guys, you at 20, 21 years old, I don't think I could do what most of those girls do. I really don't. It sounds to me very intimidating, even at this stage. And I'm an old guy. If somebody put me in there to talk to a bunch of judges to make a judgment on it, I'd be very nervous.
It is nerve-wracking, but being surrounded by these women and the committee at the Ohio Rose Center, they make you just feel so at ease and welcome and at home that any nerves you have walking into the door just disappear.
And there's in the judging, there's none of those gotcha questions where they're trying to make themselves look good. They're good. They're nice people.
Absolutely, some of the nicest people I've ever met. They ask you questions from your application. They talk to you about things they want to know about you, and it's more of it. It's like you're catching up with an old friend.
I want to play some more music in a few spots here that we have to pay the bills. But I want to talk to you about why you felt it was necessary to write an article called In Defense of the Rose of Tralee. I want to talk to you about it. I want you to think about that for a minute. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about that. In the meantime, I want you to hear this message from our good friends at Western Reserve Insurance.
Group has proudly
Jerry, I'm going to get some water. Do you want some water?
What?
Do you want some water?
Their mission has been
Please,
to
Clyde,
provide
thank you.
families with
Are you
quality
okay,
insurance
Maureen?
protection
Yeah, good.
for their home, auto, business, and farm. For more information,
If you get the Ohio Irish American News, take a look at it and you'll see the article by Maureen on the Rose of Tralee. Very interesting stuff. And Maureen, I want to ask you, I said it before we took the break, I said, why did you think you needed to write an article entitled in defense of the Rose of Tralee?
Well, as you can imagine, there's some controversy, unpopular opinions, and judgments surrounding the festival because people who've never been to a selection night or a rose ball or like the festival in County Kerry themselves don't understand it. They think from the outside it just looks like a pageant that's parading women around in fancy hats and a sash, and it's anything but that. There was an article floating around the internet that someone sent to me that was very aggressively judgmental of the festival. And
Uncomplimentary, would you say?
yes, uncomplimentary.
And in what way? What was it?
Well, the writer, I don't feel comfortable naming her. I don't want
Oh, no.
I don't want to shame anyone, but she said the Rose of Tralee was an updated piece of claptrap with nothing to offer.
Oh my God.
And that I was actually halfway through writing a different article about the Dublin Irish Festival when this was sent to me, and I was, for lack of a better term, like enraged. I was like, this person doesn't understand. They don't know. They've probably never been to a selection night. So I just took to my computer and I wrote. And it's just the festival, the Ohio Center, the people I've met and the relationships that have come out of this experience have become so dear to me that I felt it was like a family member being like personally attacked, and I wanted to defend them in the best way I knew how, writing. So I wrote my article.
For those who have not got the article, got the newspaper, if you haven't got the newspaper, how would you describe it? How would you describe the article? I know it's in defense of the Rose of Tralee, but when you started off, how were you really defending?
I'm defending an organization and a celebration of Irish heritage that brings together people globally from around the world, and with so much, like, there are so many bad things happening that I think people of Irish descent coming together to celebrate their heritage, I think that is something that's really wonderful and inspirational.
But I think now, like this paragraph you wrote, I think this is interesting, and I think you're right. The Rose of Tralee Festival does much more than bring smiley, waving women and men to Tralee every year. It brings a booming tourism increase to County Kerry. It provides the opportunity for roses, entrants and escorts alike to discuss platforms and social issues that are important to them in a public light. I think that's a very good description.
Mm-hmm. And when people ask me, oh, what's that rose thing you wore a sash for? I saw on Facebook, and I was like, it's not just a sash. It's not just 2 weeks of rose tours and appearances and a selection ball. It is, like, throughout the year I'm representing Casey's Irish Imports and the Ohio Center as a participant and entrant. And during my interviews, my onstage time, I got to talk about things that were important to me, issues that were important to me. The application has a section talking about your hobbies and your interests, and when you're filling that out, you get to talk about the topics that are important to you, the causes that are important to you. And in that article, or in that paragraph of the article, I also mentioned Unmasked for, I might pronounce this wrong, Pieta. The 2015 Escort of the Year started a nonprofit that talks about depression and kind of just unmasking yourself and knowing that it's okay to do that. And roses and escorts from the 2015 festival have told their stories. And I think that is helping a lot of people in Ireland, in the States, globally feel better about the struggles they may be going through, knowing they're not alone. And if they had not had the opportunity to be a rose or be an escort, this organization might not be getting the exposure that it is. And I think it's just a really great.
I also think, Maureen, and correct me if I'm wrong, that the city of Westlake, their participation in this under Westlake Work Partners.
Yes.
I think it has given it a great legitimacy, not just in Westlake alone, but all over the country, and probably in Tralee also, that a city like Westlake would get behind it.
Yeah, because we are sister cities with Tralee, and I think that relationship is really bringing the festival in Ohio and statewide and nationwide in a very good light. So I think the legitimacy of that relationship, a lot of people are seeing more and more.
And I think there's some educational benefits too. That I think the city of Westlake has an education program working with Tralee where school teachers go back and forth, right?
I
Students.
believe so. I remember.
It's not
hearing
part,
about
that's
it.
not part of the Rose.
No, I
Tralee.
remember. I think
Mike-
Denise McConville was telling me about
Yeah,
that.
Mike
during one of
Killeen
the-
was
yeah.
telling me about it, and it's a great program. But again,
Right.
these are all these programs working together.
Correct.
They do an awful lot of good, and I think the Rose Tralee is a big part of that. We're going to talk more. You can stick around, right?
Yep.
All
We're
right.
good.
We're going to play on your master's degree. Now, what is this master's degree in, should I ask?
When I graduate, I will have a master's of fine arts in creative writing.
Aha, John O'Brien is lucky to have such a creative writer. Yes, but you're very good. You're very good at it.
Thank you.
You
Thank
could probably teach it already.
Oh, that's the goal. That's the goal.
We're gonna go to our engineer. Usually when he gives me that look, it means that I pushed the wrong button somewhere or flipped the wrong switch. So anyway, we go back to Maureen. Maureen, the article we were talking about earlier was the one that you have written for this month's September edition of the Ohio Irish News, but you've written several other articles for the paper.
A little over a year and a half I've
Mm-hmm.
been writing for the IAN.
And the ultimate goal is you're going to teach English,
Yes.
creative writing.
Yeah. Ideally, actually, I would like to teach middle or high school English.
Oh,
Language
okay.
arts, yeah.
Yeah, you could teach us here on Sunday mornings. We
Okay.
could use a little help.
I'll do it.
Right.
That's right. Do you think we need a lot of help?
No,
Well, you're just nice.
no.
So, any idea what you're going to be putting in next month? Any kind of a teaser for us that you might be doing? You haven't thought about
It's
it
top
yet.
secret.
Oh, it is.
Top secret. John O'Brien has me under a contract not to tell anyone what my article's about before it hits newsstands.
So, I would like to ask you, it's time for people really to start thinking about the next year's Rose of Tralee,
Oh, yeah.
encouraging the girls to participate. Some, even if they didn't, if they weren't chosen this year, you can always go back in it a second time or a third time.
I'm participating again.
Somebody told me that the girl, is this true? No, I don't know. That the girl that won it this year, that she was in it 3 or 4
Yes,
times. Is that correct?
Maggie McEldowney, the 2016 Chicago Rose, and now the 2016 International Rose of Tralee. This was her third, and I think final year entering because age eligibility
Mhm.
cut off at 28. So.
And Marie Walsh also did one it last
it was,
year?
Yes,
But-
the 2014 International Rose, Maria, went through selection twice.
Okay, so it's a fabulous thing. So if you know somebody, a daughter, granddaughter, friends, relative, neighbors,
Strangers on the street.
so
I've
tell
met
them-
some nice young Irish ladies at parties and stuff, and I've told them, hey, come hang out, befriend me, do the Rose of Tralee. It's so much fun.
You're right, it is. All right, music time coming up here on the Irish Show on WHK. We're going to go to this one next. Jimmy Carton used to come to the John O'Brien's Festival, the Cleveland Irish Cultural Festival. John has been doing it now for 35 years, but I remember when he did, he started originally, he started at the German grounds on York Road in Parma. And an annual visitor to that festival was Jimmy Carton. And he came every year, and I think it was the last year, he got in a little trouble with the immigration people at the border.
Uh-oh.
I don't know, he gave some smart answer to the guy. And anyway, they yanked him out of the car, and he didn't make it to the festival. But he was, I always say that Jimmy was probably one of the best ballad singers I have ever heard. There's nobody could sing, for instance, James Connolly like Jimmy Carton. But I'm not going to play that right now. I'm going to play another one today that I really like, and this is a kind of a classical flavor to it. It's called The Song of Liberty. But the actual music of this was written by the great composer Verdi, and he wrote an opera called the Slave Chorus from Nabucco. This is what the music is from. Slave Chorus from Nabucco. But here Jimmy Carton calls this the Song of Liberty. Did you know that?
No.
You're not a
No.
Verdi opera listener.
No, I have not. Yeah, I have not. So here's Jimmy Forey. My godfather died in St. Louis. Yeah, my Jimmy Forey. Jack Forey's cousin. So he lived in California. He's here in Cleveland. Yeah, we have the PJs, yeah. So anyway, I need to just say something so not here.
Freedom's denied to many nations, with sad emotions for borders that run through these lands.
Oh, it's sad.
And
Actually,
the hope that
well,
with
some accident
justice and
now,
peace
that he's a little bit older.
Broke his vertebrae.
Yeah. So then they had to do emergency surgery and he's on a bunch of machines and all of that. Anyway, he wasn't able to sustain, after the poor thing. So it was just really hard.
emotions for peoples of these troubled